Welcome to Gyan Ganga. In this video, we will be discussing on emulating VLAN using virtualization techniques. To begin with, let us look into the details of the experiment. This is to emulate a VLAN as a broadcasting domain within an OVS switch. Also, we can show multiple broadcasting domains within a same switch. The hosts here are emulated using Linux namespace. Uh, the conceptual understanding of this is in a video whose link is placed in the description box. Now, this setup we would have seen in the physical world where we would have one managed switch and PCs which were connected to the managed switch based on the VLAN. In this case, we have connected two PCs to the VLAN 10 and other two PCs or laptops to VLAN 20. In this way, we would have set up the VLAN, multiple broadcasting domains within a same physical switch. Of course, this switch would have been a managed switch with a VLAN capacity like Cisco 6100 Cat 6K switches, right? To 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 have a VLAN, to understand VLAN, to set up a VLAN, right? We would require a managed switch for PCs. Consider the require investment here. The same thing can be emulated in a single host with OVS bridges and Linux namespaces or microcontainers and virtual Ethernet cables. So we have one OVS bridge which belongs to the host network namespace or the host, and we have four microcontainers. That means four instances of network namespace, okay, where we can have the application which is running on these network namespaces. Now if you see, we have four virtual Ethernet cables or VETH pair, right? V1 belongs to C1, V3 belongs to C2, V5 belongs to C3, and V7 belongs to C4. So all these interfaces will not be visible on this uh, host. It's only visible inside the container. At the same time, these four interfaces will be visible in on the host, which is belonging to the OVS bridge, right? So we can now proceed with creating this setup in a host machine. We create four namespaces or microcontainers, these four, and then we create a OVS bridge. These three steps will create a OVS bridge. ovs-vsctl add vr is a command, and then we bring up the interfaces using IP link setdev, and then we have to create this four virtual Ethernet cables. This is done by IP link add command, one endpoint and the other endpoint. So similarly, we create four cables. Now we have to interconnect. We have all the virtual components. Now we have to interconnect C1 to OVS bridge using this cable. We will see exactly same thing what we did in the experiment one. Here we are adding the port V2 to this bridge. And important thing is the VLAN tag is 10, right? Associating to port V2. And we are now uh, associating V1 to network namespace C1, and we're configuring the IP address in the network namespace or microcontainer C1, right? See if you can see here dev V1, okay, and we are now bringing up V1 as in the container C1 as well as V2 outside the container in the host, right? Same thing we will be repeating for other containers. We are interconnecting C2 and BR0. Important thing is VLAN 10 and the IP address is in the 10.10.10 network, right? When you go through C3 And BR0 same thing, but difference is VLAN associated to 20, V6 been associated to 20, and the network is in a different network 10.10.20. If you look at C4 and BR0, the V8 interface is associated to 20, and the IP address of V7 inside the C4 is 10.10.20.3, which belongs to this network. Okay, now we can now execute this script sudo xp3. Okay, enter. Okay, we will verify whether do we have all the components up and running. We have 4 microcontainers, sudo ovs-vsctl show. We have this bridge BR0, V4 belongs to V10, BR0, okay, that is V2 belongs to VLAN 10, V8 belongs to VLAN 20, V6 belongs to VLAN 20. Now we can look at the ports. IPA show V1 cannot be seen on the host, it has to be only seen in the container. IP netns exec. Okay, C1 IPA show V1. Okay, now we can see V2 here. So see here 108 is the index of V2, and the corresponding other endpoint is 109 inside the container. It is V1 IP address we have configured. Similarly, we can see all other first interfaces. We see V4 on the host, and we see V3 in the container, right? See here, it becomes 111. Its counterpart is 110. Now we will see V5 in C3 container, right? Its counterpart will become V6 on the host. See here 112, 113. Okay, configured with this IP address. Finally, we will see V8 and V7 inside the container. So all the ports are up and running. We see 115 and 14. Okay, now we will try to ping. Okay, now sudo netns exec c1 ping from the container. Okay, shall I ping outside the network 10.10.20.3? Okay, oh, it's outside the network. Shall I frame from the host? No, even from the host it's not reachable. Okay, now where it is reachable, it will be reachable from C4. Okay, before this, let us also capture the packets on two network, one interface on two networks. We will capture on V4, which is on the VLAN 10 network. As well, we will capture it on V8 on the VLAN 20 network. We can capture it on any of these interfaces. Okay, for this traffic, I can capture it on any of the 4 interfaces, or for this traffic, I can capture it on any of the 4 interfaces. Okay, we will now experiment here. Now I am sending a ping. Oh, sorry, it should be on. Okay, let me see here. It should be 3. Okay. Okay, now I got captured. No, not no packets captured. I have captured 13 packets here. Okay, let us now see here on this network there is no packets which has come. Two packets, you will see what it is. Now we will okay take it from my cloud. Okay, now v4, yeah, we will. So these are two IPv6 packets that we can ignore. So this on this network VLAN 10 we don't have any packets. At the same time, when we look at the other thing, okay, we can now filter this IPv6 packets. I come here, not selected. Now we have remaining with this packets, right? If we carefully observe here, so it is starting from C6, that is who has 20.3 IP address. So this is starting from C3, right? So let us now get the information here. Show v3 v5. Okay, so now the IP address will be this one, and MAC address is C6EF. Yes, C6EFFA. This MAC address is broadcasting, saying requesting for this IP address. This broadcast C3 is only within this network. It is not even going here, because when we capture the packets on V4, we are not receiving any broadcast from this network. Okay, now we go to the next packet. DA93 MAC address is giving replying back, right? V7 and V4. See here, DA9381, okay, is replying back to the C6E5FA host, right? Saying that hey, I have this IP address, followed by 3 ping request reply packets, and finally the recipient, right, that will again to fill its ARP cache, he'll again unicast a ARP request to the C6E5 MAC address. Then asking, do you have 20.2, and this host will reply, yes, I have. So this is the transactions between two hosts in the same broadcasting domain. So friends, that's all we have for this session. Hope you have enjoyed this session on emulating VLAN within a single host. Till we come back in the next video with some interesting experiment. Happy learning, take care, and thank you.